So hey everybody, it's Dr. Donny. We are going to get started. And just whether you're watching any of my webinars, whether you've been watching them live or whether you're watching them after the fact, I know a lot of people are doing that. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to you. I'm really enjoying putting this content together for you. And I know a lot of people are getting value from it. So I'm just going to keep doing it and I hope that you love it. Now today though, what we're talking about is boredom. So right now, this is April 2020, quarantine time is here. Not all of us are bored. A lot of us are still working, but many of us are laid off or not working and find yourself with a lot of time. So if you're watching this now, obviously this is geared towards things you can do when you're not under your normal routine. But if you're watching this after the fact, this is like your Saturday or Sunday. Okay, so what can we do to not be bored? So, first of all, let's talk about where boredom comes from. Ultimately, boredom is lack of routine. It's lack of direction. It's lack of motivation. And think about when you're not under a regular routine and how you're feeling. Like often, what's your energy like, right? It's draining to you. So boredom is low energy, and you just don't feel like doing anything. And when that happens, people often aren't putting as much focus and energy into their nutrition and their health. Maybe their relationships suffer because again, they just don't feel like connecting, they don't feel like doing anything. Maybe from a work or a schooling or career perspective, you just don't feel like doing the work and the growth that could help you way. So what do we do instead when we're bored? We distract. Okay, so the biggest distractions that people use, there's three of them: social media, mainstream media, and TV, Netflix, Crave, all of those things. So we distract with those things. But this is something that you might want to write down. We are doing distraction instead of production, right? So distraction instead of production. When we're doing those things, we're not producing any value in our personal lives. We're just distracting. And listen, there's a time and a place for TV. There's a time and a place for these things. Don't get me wrong. But if it's all you're doing because you're bored or you're doing it for massive chunks of your day, you're missing opportunities. And so you're missing opportunities to produce in areas of your life with regards to, like I said, health, mindset, personal relationships, your career, and growth. So you're missing out on opportunities of joy, connection, and growth, basically. So today, what we're going to do is we are going to talk about my top 5 tips on how to stop this cycle and how to actually not be bored and to create some momentum in your life. Now, if this is, again, you're watching this during quarantine time, we don't know how long this is going to go. But at the end of this, do you want to take a step back and look at this and say, hey, all I did was watch TV. I watched a lot of series on Netflix. Or do you want to come out of this with a new skill or better health or some sort of growth in that way? Maybe upgrades with regards to your career, right? This is a time opportunity, and I'd encourage you to not miss that. Don't miss that opportunity. We may not ever get, there's a lot of challenges right now. Don't get me wrong, and I get it, and I'm respectful to that. But this is for most of us that maybe are healthy right now or don't have a loved ones that isn't healthy. This is a time opportunity. Watching this down the road, Saturdays and Sundays can be time opportunities for you to do something for yourself. So please look at that way. Now, the number one, we're going to go through 5 tips. The number one that I'm going to talk about is routine. So I'm going to encourage you to have your same morning routine that you would have as if you were going to work. So what time do you normally wake up at? Start waking up at the same time. What do you normally do? Do you, make your bed, you take a shower, you get ready, you eat a certain thing, and you're doing that normal routine? Because what are a lot of people doing right now? Because they don't have to be anywhere. They don't have to go to work. So what are we doing? We're staying up late watching Netflix, and then people are snoozing and sleeping. Now, here's the thing. If you have a child, this is probably not you, but a lot of people are doing this. They're sleeping in as long as they can. And then they roll out of bed, they're staying in their pajamas or their sweats all day. They're not really getting ready. And that is absolutely causing you to want to more distract with those 3 things we were talking about versus being productive. So I would encourage you to change that pattern right now and start to act as you normally would. And here's something you might want to write down as well. Completion creates confidence. Okay, I'll say that again. Completion creates confidence. So what do I mean by that? when you complete one task, even if it's making your bed, that creates confidence in you to do more, whether you realize it or not. It's like a cascade or a momentum of things where it's like, okay, you've gotten dressed, now you're brushing your teeth, you're doing these things, you've started this process on things that are really positive for you. And we just need routine. Just trust me on this. If you can do one thing, just start doing your normal morning routine, because I guarantee you're going to feel more energy and you're going to feel more like doing the things that are actually going to help you grow, as opposed to just sitting around all day. So that's my number one tip is routine. And to go along with that is consistency. So don't just do it for one day and then go back to routines. You have to make it a habit and do it and be consistent with it. Okay. My second tip kind of goes along with routine is scheduling. Okay. So I want you to look at your day and actually schedule out things for yourself. Now, my next 3 points, remember I said there's going to be 5. So first one is routine. Second one is scheduling. The next 3 tips I'm going to give you, these are things that they're a little more practical, but these are things that I want you to schedule out into your day. Now, once you make these things a habit, you don't have to sit down and schedule them, but I would encourage you right now to sit down and say, okay, tomorrow, what do I want to do? So let's say I'm going to get up at this time and like literally write it out. So I'm going to get up at this time. I'm going to, do this. I'm going to exercise at this time. I'm going to call my mom at this time. I'm going to go get my groceries at this time. Like schedule out your day. And until it becomes a habit, you have to sometimes schedule this out, because then you have an outline of what you need to do, and it's going to help you with not just falling into that trap of just sedating and distracting and just doing nothing. Okay, so you have to prepare. How does the saying go? If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. So you need to plan this out, and it's really going to help you if this is something that you're struggling with. Okay, so now my next 3 things are practical things that you need to include into your routine and be consistent with and schedule. So my number 3 tip is a morning success ritual. Now, if you've been following along with me, you've heard this before, so I'm not going to get into massive detail about it, but I did a webinar a couple of weeks ago entitled Morning Success Routine. So if you have not watched it, go on the Vita Chiropractic YouTube channel and just search Morning Success Routine, and there's a whole webinar on it. The full webinar's there. But basically what it is, and this I just think is so important for people that are feeling bored or struggling with routine, is it gives you a structure of at least 6 things that you can do to be productive every single day. So it's kind of like a checklist, and I'm just going to run them off. Again, if you want more information, go watch that webinar, but it's getting some greens in, whether that's a green smoothie or a salad or a green powder. Move your body, so exercise, do some breath work or meditation, journaling, notes to someone you love and care about. And the last one is learning, whether it's watching a video or listening to a podcast or reading something. So basically the key thing is to, again, schedule this out. Ideally doing it in the morning is best, but trying to get these things in. Think about, again, completion creates confidence. So imagine you were to start your day, getting up at a certain time, doing the things you normally did, hitting off these 6 things. You're going to feel so much more productive, and it's going to increase your confidence to want to do more. But then if I have to give you one thing on this list of 6 things, the one I really, really want to pinpoint is exercise. So moving your body, that is the number one way to increase energy for you and help you not feel bored. So plan out what you want to do. And guys, it doesn't even matter what it is. It's something, whatever level you're at, whether that's going outside for a walk, whether that's marching on the spot in your living room, whether that's dancing it out, whether it's doing a HIIT workout like push-ups and sit-ups and squats. I don't know what it is for you, going for a run, but doing something. If you need direction, there is so much free content on the internet. Just go on YouTube. You can find all kinds of just different workouts and different plans, people at different levels of yoga, whatever it is, but you have to move your body. And I'm going to steal something from Rachel Hollis, who I love, but she always says, move your body, change your mind. So remember, again, boredom is lack of momentum or lack of motivation, lack of direction. It's fatigue. So how do you counter that? Move your body, because you change your mind and it produces endorphins, it gives you energy, and it can help you make more positive choices for the rest of your day. I can't say enough about exercise, but take a look at that webinar if you want to learn a little bit more, and try and incorporate that and schedule it in. Now, my fourth point is fill yourself up with inspiring content and spend time with inspiring people. Guys, we need to be inspired to not be bored. We need to be inspired. And I mean, how are you going to be inspired if you wake up and the first thing you do is roll over and scroll on Instagram, and then you turn on the TV and watch CNN for all the negativity? Like, how is that inspiring? And I'm not saying don't be informed. Again, there's a time and a place for it. But what are you doing to inspire yourself? And there, again, you know, when we look at the internet, there's so much positive growth content out there. It's crazy. It's ridiculous how much positive growth content there is if you look for it. So whether that's watching my material, whether that's, I mentioned Rachel Hollis, there's her, and Dave Hollis, her husband. There's Jay Shetty, there's Gary Vanderchuk, there's like Oprah, there's John Maxwell. There's so many positive, inspiring people. And you don't even have to look at big famous people. You can look within our community. There's chiropractors right now, other chiropractors other than myself, that are putting out really positive content. There are naturopaths in our town that are putting out good content. There's so much that we could look at. It's what are you consuming? And the other side of this thing is to spend some time with positive people. And it's kind of tough if you live with someone who's not super positive and wants to, you know, maybe dwell a lot on the media stuff. So you just have to separate yourself from that. Have some alone time where you're really focusing on this positive work. But that's one of the things to beat boredom is inspiration. And that's only works if you're on purpose looking at inspiring content. Now, the last one has to do with socializing. And I mean, you might say, oh, we're in quarantine right now. What are you talking about? Be creative with your socializing, okay? So there are lots of different ways, you know, we can FaceTime, we can Zoom with our families. There's like all different ways that you can do it. But maybe you like have dinner with your family over like people that you can't be in touch with right now. You can play board games that way. You can play different games while that's recording. Even though you're not in the same building, you can still play together, right? There's lots of different ways if you get creative. The other thing is setting a schedule with it. So a personal story about myself is I have a group of girlfriends that we live all over the world. And we've always talked, we've stayed in touch over the years. I went to school with these girls. But sometimes like months will go by and we don't talk to each other. Like there have been times like 6 months go by. And ever since this started, we've been doing weekly. So every Thursday night, I have my Zoom call with my best friends. And honestly, it has provided me with so much joy, so much positivity. And it's just a great way to connect. And it's been really positive for me. But now we've scheduled it. It's literally every Thursday. And it's hopefully going to be something that we do ongoing, right? That's one of the positives of this is, can we establish some new habits now so that we can continue down the road? So I would encourage you to, you know, there's so many ways you can get creative with socializing, but schedule it and really make sure that you're spending time with positive people that make you laugh, that can uplift you, because that's going to help counter boredom as well. Every single day, try and FaceTime your friends and family members literally every single day. And that can be really helpful. So those are my 5 tips, okay? So routine and consistency with that. Schedule out your day. Just do it. Number 3 was look at that morning success routine and those get your 6 points and try and work that way, and check out that webinar if you didn't see it. Number 4, inspiring content, inspiring people. Fill up your cup in that way. And number 5 is get creative with your socializing. And I just think that generally overall right now, we need routine, we need consistency, and we need good habits. This is the time, my friends. Do not waste this time on distractions. Just don't do it. Because at the end of the day, think about how positive it's going to be for you if you look at this time as an opportunity and you actually do something really positive for yourself. That is my hope for everyone. And I hope that you found this valuable. I hope that it has motivated you to take 1 or 2 extra steps, you know, just some new things to create more of this in your life. And I hope it's brought you value. Now, any questions for me? If you have a question, you can unmute. I'll give you guys 1 more minute. No? Okay, cool. So, yeah, so that's pretty much all my content. If you have any questions, you can reach out after the fact. And just again, thank you so much for participating in this. Please, please, please share. Okay, so this is all content I'm doing out of the goodness of my heart. It's all free. And the only thing I ask is that you share it with somebody. Who do you know that would value from this, who's bored out of their mind and, just needs a little bit of a boost. Please share this with them. I would love and appreciate that. The more people we can help, the better. And thanks so much for listening. I'll see you. I'll be announcing, as every week, I'll announce what the webinar is next week, and we'll go from there. So see you next time. Have a great day. Thanks for listening.